right, welcome back. And our guest is on set. Let's welcome, I love this brown, I love this morning. Let's welcome Mr. Braden Roberts, the Tobago Tutor Officer. And of course, we're here to celebrate the 82nd annual Teachers Get Together. Good morning and welcome, sir.
Good morning, Brother B. It's always a pleasure to be on the program.
Yes, man. And I just loving that brown, all right?
Thank you
but
very
anyway,
much.
all right, let's get into it. And it's the 82nd annual Teachers Get Together, as we call it. And of course, we're celebrating the icon teacher, Mr. Orville London.
Yes, well, we have been holding off on Mr. Orville London for some time because being in the political space, we do not want to have any partisan side towards the get-together. Unfortunately, upon coming out, he was posted out of the country, and then we had the pandemic, so we can't predict the future, so we had to get into it. So the best time is now. So Mr. Orville London would have served not just Tobago in the schools, but tutor. So it's a quite fitting icon for us to highlight at this 82nd anniversary.
Very good. All right. So it's a 5-day activity. I see, well, it's the 5th of June, the 11th of June, 17th, well, it's 17th of June. Yeah. So tell us about from the 5th, which is...
Yesterday.
Yesterday. All right, good.
So yesterday we had an ecumenical service where we had 6 leaders of the religious bodies. We worshipped, we had the submissions, persons from the various districts in Trinidad as well as some of our retirees in Tobago. We had even the assistant secretary was present, so we appreciate his presence there. But that ecumenical service is to start off on recognizing God first and inviting God's presence to our activities. And it was well attended, the feedback we got well organized. And we look forward to that trend building. We usually get a good presentation for our get-together.
Great. And so on the 11th webinar?
Right. The 11th, we are looking at the genesis of get-together because persons have been wondering how get-together came about. And while I would not want to sell too much, we would have had a previous inspector who saw it fit to recognize the needs of teachers back in 1940. That get-together was more of a social affair where magistrates, doctors, prominent persons were once to chair those functions and so forth until it has developed what it has been today. Since Tutor came in 1980, Tutor took over the handling of the get-together where the Tobago district continues to manage its operation.
Great. All right. And the 17th, the Professional Development Day and Award Ceremony.
And just quickly before I go to the 17th, just to give a heads up on the webinar, we have 3 prominent persons who will be going through that history for us. We have Mr. Peter Wilson, one of our former General Secretary, National Officer, and 2 persons, and I would say that they are not retired, They are very active in Milton Henry.
Oh, yes.
Joe Field now. Yes. And we also have Miss Ruth Lynn Antoine. Both serve tutor really well and the teaching and education system very well.
But did you all award Henry?
Yes, she has been an icon. I believe it was 2016.
Okay, good. Right.
And she
well
acts
deserved.
as 2020, 2021 and going forward.
Okay.
So she continues to wear that and wear that banner well for us. So we do appreciate her appreciation of what we did for her.
Very good.
And as I said, they are not retired at all. They continue to serve the district.
All right, so just give us a backdrop as to what happens on the 17th with the Personal or Professional Development Day and Award Ceremony.
Right, the 17th is our main day where we are honoring our retirees. It's a development day as well, where we look at some of the issues facing our teachers. We have those formal discussions. We also have a feature speaker. Let me just quickly it's Deborah John Baptiste Samuel, quite prominent.
She's a spoken word storyteller.
Right, so she is an attorney at law first. She's an accomplished writer, and she's also a versatile creative powerhouse in dramatic performances and orator and so forth. Yeah. So we look forward to a really good program.
Okay.
So she will aid to give that motivational aspect of get-together because we have been through this 2-year period where some of our teachers stressed out of what we would have gone through, but we remain hopeful.
Very good.
And we look forward to Miss Joan Baptiste's presentation that would lift that spirit. So we have 10 retirees quickly. We have 10 retirees. I'm hoping to be back, hopefully next week, where I can bring a retiree. I think we did that some time back. And we can have the retiree give that kind of interaction as we go forward.
Great. All right, and then the rest, and of course the after party, so to speak. Go ahead.
Right, so we hope to get a little cool down where teachers can be in a more relaxed setting and be able to enjoy each other's company.
Very good. All right, Mr. Braden, let's go to what is trending or topical. Obviously, GATE, and of course, the government attempt to save GATE, or not attempt, but they're saying that GATE could possibly be removed. You will put it in the right context, and let's speak to that.
All right. So, what would have happened in the past years? We would have built out an education system going too top-heavy. So, while we would have had the primary school and the secondary school, the desire, of course, to get tertiary education free, where we had GATE.
Right.
The government would have been funding such. The economics of the thing was not sustainable. We are in a position now where something has to give. So I do understand the government restructuring, but you see, the sudden change will definitely affect persons. Persons may not have been preparing when they were looking forward to the assistance from the government where GATE is concerned to further their studies. They now have to depend on other additional savings and put things in place. So I hope that the government does a phased approach to the changes that they are purporting to make. But it was not sustainable.
Okay.
They focused a lot on the tertiary when the primary and the secondary were lagging. And that's the foundation.
All right.
So if you're going to balance the primary, secondary, tertiary, a restructuring must take place. It's only reasonable.
So it's reasonable. But however, UE wants to increase its fees, its tuition fees.
Well, money has to be found somewhere. Money has to be found somewhere. And even listening to the Guild president and his response, he also understands that there may be a need for an increase. And that's why I would want to bridge it with the negotiation just now.
Exactly.
The increase may be needed, but it cannot be sudden changes. No one would want to pay more. No one. You go on a taxi, you don't want to pay more for anything. But because the way in which the economy has been going, there will be changes. There cannot be drastic changes because there will be hardship for persons. So that is critical. And that brings back to the concern I have with the negotiations. You see, negotiations in the past, every time we get a raise of pay, cost of living, all those items go up. But it's no longer just about the raise of pay, because cost of living going up despite we get the raise of pay or not. So we are hoping that good sense prevail with the CPO and we give persons that purchasing power to treat the increases as they come.
And let's stay there with that whole negotiation with that 2% that is for. And you said that you were working on a figure that would be reasonable. The last time we spoke, where are you with that? And and when are you to meet with the CPO as far as tutor is concerned?
So tutor will be meeting with the CPO on the 17th, that same day. So I have to juggle get together and be at the CPO meeting. We don't negotiate percentage. We have a market survey where we look to see where our salary should have been, where it is now, and we negotiate how much we close that gap. Of course, we want the gap closed 100%. In the recent past, we've had it closed about 90, 85, 93, somewhere around there. And when we get the increase, we can then appropriate what the percentage increase really was. Might have been about 13% after you work it out in that way. But we don't start out working out percentage like that. We do a market survey, and we draw the lines as to where we're going to close the gap and so forth. As I would have indicated before, I believe that 2% was the CPO fielding out the ground. If you listen to the finance minister now, it was an initial offer, but they're playing games. We don't have time for the games playing.
All right. So, and I think I asked you this, but I'll ask you again. The Tobago, we in Tobago, we pay more for goods and services. Our cost of living is much higher than our counterparts in Trinidad. Has that been considered in your putting of the package, whatever you're going to negotiate with the CPO on the 17th?
Well, the reality is the government needs to do more. Trinidad and Tobago needs to do more in price controls. I would have also mentioned before, even though we have tax breaks and so on, we need to monitor these grocery prices and these other things that are raising. If things go up by 5 cents or 10 cents in bringing in something, it goes up $1, $2, $3 in the grocery. So if we don't have price controls, there isn't much anyone can do to really treat with the rising cost of living and the purchasing power, even if with a negotiation.
Okay. All right. So just a little bit on the whole question of the schools update as to, remember the last time we spoke, was it last week?
Yes, that's last week.
The issues of the challenges in terms of repairs to whatever, whatever the issues were. I can't remember word for word.
But Scarborough Secondary School.
Scarborough Secondary.
Yes, they have, well, Scarborough Secondary School has always had a myriad of issues. We have always worked with the division to see how best we can have this school operate in a way where both the teachers and students are as comfortable as possible. However, the AC units in the staff room have been down for some weeks, more than a month. We have been lobbying with the division, working with the principal, trying to get a solution, having them address those needs of the teachers. Unfortunately, it took coming to the media for the division to see the seriousness of it. I got information that contractors were there yesterday seeking to install the AC units and so forth. There's a lot of other things to be worked on. We're supposed to have a meeting for 9 o'clock with OSHA at Scarborough Secondary School. Today. So they will also be looking at some of the, I would have sent a report as to some of the challenges of the school to see how best we can have relief. Because, I mean, it's not conducive if persons on the compound are aggrieved to learning. We are not focused so much on the teaching and learning when our students and teachers are discomforted by so many of the other issues. So we are hopeful that out of yesterday's action with the contractors completing their tasks and with the OSHA meeting and moving forward, we will have Scarborough Secondary School dealt with. I am hoping that we don't have to come to the media every time for our school to be fixed.
Exactly.
Because there are so many issues in the other
But
schools.
who is the liaison, should we say, from the Division of Education to attend to maintenance issues in the school? You just said it. You don't have to come to the media every time. But is there a go-to person, let's say, from the Division of Education for maintenance of schools? Is there?
Right. So there is a procurement implementation unit, our project implementation unit at the division. However, we liaise with the head. And the head would be either the administration in operational duties or the secretaries. Unfortunately or fortunately, Mr. Kerr is the only person who responds. We will send emails, we will send WhatsApp, phone calls. Despite our different insides where we sit, I will get a response from Mr. Kerr. However, it's not always conducive or supportive to something being treated with in the near future. I am hoping that whatever system that they're working on, there need to be stopgap measures now, because persons are living in this hardship now while they work on those systems. So I appreciate, at least I'm getting the feedback from Mr. Kerr. I am hoping that persons at the helm be more mature in the job, so we can have that relation. I don't want to be out here fighting with anybody.
Exactly.
It's more of us being able to sit at the table. I would have submitted an 8-page document, concise. After visiting all the schools, I identified all the issues and I would have given out at least 4 to 5 recommendations under each. Not even an acknowledgement of the document sent that was received. There's a willingness to work with. Now, when these things break down, I know what they respond to, the media. So I am out here. But it's not that tutor wants to be out here in a tussle or a tit-for-tat with the division at all. But that's where we get acknowledgement and that's where the communication really takes place.
Very good.
Yes, I'm hoping that we need to get a better place, because if we are complaining that